Let us now talk about irony in the lady with a beard. Like I said, you need to identify the irony, what makes it ironical, and show how important it is to our understanding. A mother takes time to prepare the alem with porcupine, whose aroma spreads through the whole village. Ironically, no human being consumes it. The share that she sends to Duque, she throws it to the dog out of anger because of a mother's sarcasm. The one that he sends to Ewangename is eaten by the dog because Tube spills the food in front of Ewangename's house. And the rest that is left on the fire gets burnt, almost setting the house on fire. This irony is important because it highlights conflict between Eduke and Emade. Eduke does not take Emade's comments, sarcasm lightly, and she continues with it to make sure that she is ostracized from the women folk. It also highlights superstition because after the spilling of the food, Emade believes that there is something mysterious behind the spilling of the food, thereby making her not to have a sound sleep all through the night. It also highlights love. As mother and daughter prepare the food in a very lovely atmosphere, as Emade teaches her daughter Bakosi culinary. And at the same time, food is sent to Ewangename in the precious dishes of Emade's deceased husband. Secondly, the women visit Emade to sympathize with her for the spilling of food the previous night in front of Ewangename's house. Ironically, she reproaches the women for poking their noses into things that do not concern them and asks them to go back and occupy themselves with important chores at home. The arrival of the women early in the morning to sympathize highlights solidarity. Emade's response to the women by rebuking and reproaching them for interfering into her personal matters highlights conflict. Consequently, her reaction is not appreciated by most women, especially Eduke, who bears a grudge against Emade and decides to form a conspiracy, which leads to Emade's ostracism from the female folk in Atiek. Thirdly, Mechane is very generous. Whenever her daughter visits her and brings provision, she shares it with the women of Moabak. Ironically, when she falls sick, the women of Moabak do not even know that she is in a critical condition of health. And they neglect her on her sickbed in her dire moment. The fact that this woman shares whatever her daughter brings with the other women of Moabak highlights generosity. The fact that the women in Moabak do not even pay attention to the fact that, do not even know that she's not well. Not to talk of the fact that they abandon her highlights neglect and ingratitude. This is what pushes a mother at the beginning, intending that she will forbid the women of Moab to take part in her funeral, highlighting conflict. Next, many people in the Boatmood community are Christians, yet they still believe in the traditions of the land. Ironically, Ntube falls in the brook of the serpent, which provokes disagreement in the church, because the Reverend Father says Mwankum is a human being disguised as a juju, making even the elders in the church to disagree. Emade visits Nyango Madiba in order to fortify herself and her daughter to secure her against witches and wizards in the land. All of this highlights cultural conflict between tradition and Christianity. Emade decides to take a long journey. When she is about to go and get back her daughter from the mission, she stops her leg on a stone, and she believes that all is not well. Consequently, she decides to take a long journey to seek for a female soothsayer in order to unravel the mystery. Even when she meets other female soothsayers, they recommend male soothsayers to her whom she refuses to visit. Ironically, on her way to Nzom to meet the great female soothsayer, the mystery of her foot stubbing is unraveled by a tapper, a man, telling her that she has to make peace with her people. This is confirmed by the soothsayer, leaving her frustrated and disappointed, and the homeward journey is one of disappointment. When she goes back home, she cleanses her leg using holy water, believing that everything will be okay. And for the first time in her life, she has a peaceful sleep, highlighting the clash of conflict, of cultures. Early in the morning, she realizes that the voice of the first women that pass by are Eduke, and she believes that they will be divine retribution, highlighting superstition. It is very important for you to end up whatever thing you say with some analysis. That is what will give you the mark. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, press the subscribe button. Click on the like button. Leave us a comment. We want to know. Leave us a comment about what we are doing. Share the videos with your friends. Inform them about the link, about the channel. Thank you.